I think some other factors that can help in relationship. I think one, love, respect, understanding. Okay, because you can't actually stay with someone you don't understand. Okay, you should be able to understand that person. You should be able to love and respect that person's views also. Okay, but I wouldn't say we should try to compare some of those, medically speaking, I wouldn't say we should try to compare some of those issues that arise from relationship and try to put them in the same box as in the case of sickle cell or people living who are carriers or who are not compatible with sickle cell. I think that's a different ball game altogether. Do you understand? Because in a relationship, whether you love a person or you don't love him, you respect him. Do you understand? But as far as you people are together and you people are incompatible in the cases of genotype, I think that's not appropriate. And I think you owe that person you are trying to conceive or you are trying to bring into the world, okay, that benefit of not being is a sickle cell carrier. So I think the point at which one is supposed to ask of the genotype is at the point of okay, hello, I am so and so. We met earlier. Do you understand? At the first conversation, you should be able to ask that person what's your genotype. Do you understand? To avoid you uh, will I say to avoid you getting used to this person because that's the idea that most people, or let me say that's the complaint that most people usually need that okay, they are gotten used to this person, they don't know how to love anybody apart from this person. So before you even allow yourself to okay have that person hook you up in his own net or his or her net, do you understand? I think the first conversation for you to have is that of the genotype, not even getting to know your background, your family background and all. I think, from my own point of view, I think genotype should be the first you should ask in relationships. I don't think that sickle cell disease patients are not married. I one at some point, I I fell for someone who is a sickle cell patient, but I I saw no reason for me to get married to that person because I'm not a carrier, so I can live with that person. Do you understand? So um, I think it's the way the society actually there's the stigma that the society associates with some of those things. Do you understand? Because as I rightly said earlier on, most of these people are depressed. Do you understand? And they have a whole lot of emotional and psychological trauma going on. You understand? And I think that's one of the reasons that people will tell you that they are not teachable. You get? But for the handful of patients and people who have met who are sickle cell disease patients, I think they are they are some set of lovable people you can ever meet. Do you understand? So no, I think they are marriable and I think they are lovable. Okay. So and I think they can also live normal lives. Okay. I think they just need more love from the society. Okay, they just need more love from the society. And then when they have a compatible partner who understands them, okay, I think now that's where the understanding comes in, okay. When you have someone who understands you, who respects you and shows you loyalty, and shows you that he or she can be with you despite the situation, and you're compatible, I think that will go a long way in solving some of these issues. So I think um, people who living with sickle cell disease need more awareness, as I said earlier. And I think some of this education doesn't have to come with them, doesn't have to come to them later in life, okay, when they are all used to these drugs. I think from a very little stage, I think we should begin to emphasize that okay, some of these drugs actually are be addictive. Because let me be sincere with you, most of them start taking these drugs without knowing the complications or the effects or the toll some of these drugs might have on them. Okay, so I believe that when we start educating them about what these drugs can potentially do, and then we actually try to give them alternatives, okay, from using some of these drugs constantly, I think it will go a long way. Okay, that's why I said one of it is that understanding the disease process will also help you not to even use some of these drugs most of the times. Do you understand? Because when you have an understanding of the disease process and you manage this disease process, okay, then you won't have crisis. You won't have crisis often. And then if you don't have crisis often, you won't have the need to take most of these analgesics often. Do you understand? And that will take away the part of addiction that comes with it. Okay, because if you do something just once in a while, you can't get addicted to it. Do you understand? So I think we need to move, we need to educate people living with sickle cell disease more on the disease process and how to manage it. Okay, and I think that will be wrong. So if you mention NSAIDs, drugs, okay, because I think if a sickle disease patient take NSAIDs, I think it's just for the pain, yeah, and then I think if you have a patient who abuses NSAIDs, not just sickle disease patients, okay, in this case, anybody who is prone to abusing NSAIDs most times is likely to come down with gastric ulcers, okay, and that is not peculiar to people living with sickle cell disease, okay. Anyone who abusing NSAIDs is likely, most likely to come down with stomach ulcers. Also, I think some of the clergies and let's say some of the churches now do request for genotype testing and all before going into or will I say getting couples married together. Okay, and I think that has helped a lot. Okay, because trust me, some people don't even know their genotype before even approaching the the aisle or anywhere they're going to take their way to get married. You understand? But it's at that point of okay, or counseling in some of the churches or mosques, okay, go and have your genotype, and then that's when they do get to know that okay, they are not compatible. Okay, so to some point, I think uh, some of these bodies are doing the best they can in sensitization. But then, as I rightly said earlier on, it's free will. Okay, you can't force anyone to, even if the person is not compatible, you can't force him to say, okay, no, don't get married to this person. You can just advise, okay, so it still boils down to that person, and that person needs a lot of teaching and in a lot of convincing also to be able to do that. But generally speaking, I think our clergy and other bodies are doing very good in sensitization. The thing is that, medically speaking, genotype doesn't fuse. Okay, it doesn't. It's a constant. You can't be AS today and AA tomorrow, or SS today and you can AA tomorrow. Okay, I think where most people get it wrong is that sometimes at their first testing, okay, maybe you go to labs who are not really qualified or don't really have the good reagents or some of these things to test, okay, and some of them might give you wrong results at first, okay. So it's advisable that when testing for genotype, you should get tested at different locations, okay, or different labs to be able to get a particular result and or for confirmation of the result. Do you understand? And so once you confirm your genotype, it can't flip. I give that to you, it can't flip. Okay. As humans, we are people of beliefs, okay? We are people of so many type of beliefs. I I wouldn't say, for me, I don't think belief works, okay, I don't think it will work. And I think where faith ends for you is in the fact that, okay, you got married to someone you're not compatible with, and then you end up having kids who are in crisis, who have sickle cell, okay, and then all those things that come with it start manifesting themselves, okay. I think that's where the regret comes in most times, okay. But I wouldn't say faith, except you're lucky, and which I said earlier on, it's in rare occasions, very, very rare occasions, that you will be lucky, okay. And that being lucky might even go for just people who are ASAS. Do you understand? And it's hard for people who are ASSS to even be that lucky. But as I said earlier, it's the probability and chances are very, very low. So I don't think I don't even think people should bring faith, okay, into the discussions of sickle cell anemia, okay, because what my faith tells me is that, okay, God has given me this knowledge, okay, to decide for myself, and He has given me this free will, okay. So it's now left for me to use this free will and the knowledge I have, okay. It's one thing for you to go into it without knowing, okay, and not understanding the disease process or understanding the traits you have in you, okay. It's totally different than for you to, okay, you know all these things and then you are still bent on going into it. So I don't think people should even bring faith into it. Okay, I think people should rather bring reality and facts into it. You can't program it like that. Okay. You can, it will shock you to know that you can even give birth to all your children and they will be SS. Do you understand? There is no formula to it. If I can put it that way, there can be no formula to it. Okay. So I don't think people should even risk it on if someone is lucky to say that, okay, he had first his first two kids are SS and then the third escapes SS and his ES, fine, he got lucky. But you might not get that lucky. Do you understand? And sometimes you might not even have when he had those incidents, maybe he didn't have the kind of information you did have. Now, do you understand? So I don't think people should gamble it that way. I think it's highly inappropriate. I think you owe those children or those offspring you're bringing up, okay, you owe that to them, not to give them that choice, because you are trying to give them a some kind of an impossible choice that was actually given to you, or although you did choose to be a carrier, okay, but I think you are also trying to give them that choice, okay, of coming down with sickle cell disease. And I don't think if you have kids who are sickle cell disease, they wouldn't tell you that they like their own conditions, okay, no matter how much you love them, okay. I don't think it will be something that they will tell you that, okay, they like the fact that, okay, they are AS and all. So I don't think you owe it to them not to put them in situations like that. My name is Pantong Francis, a nurse with Source University Teaching Hospital. So my advice to people living with sickle cell disease is do not lose hope, okay? We love you. And then please try to keep warm. Always try to hydrate yourselves, and trying to encourage other people, okay, what the society says, okay, behind you, because most of what you hear the society talk about people with sickle cell disease is because they don't really understand the disease process and all. Okay, so I think as sickle cell disease patients, you can also do more to sensitize other people and also build a community, okay, that you encourage each other. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.